Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger. My friends, the Evo announcements keep on hitting. The Evo reveals are still coming, and here we get our first in-game look at Terry Bogard for Street Fighter 6. So it's not full-on gameplay. Terry is launching sometime in autumn. We don't got an exact release date, but this is surely his cinematic from the World Tour mode. And there's a lot to go into here, and we're going to go into it, don't worry. But not the least of which, since it's now effectively confirmed that Terry, and therefore Mai, will have World Tour modes, does that mean they're canonical to the world of Street Fighter? If they're in Metro City, it's not like it's going to be gated off and they just exist in their own weird shadow dimension, right? So there's a lot to ponder upon here. So now let's go into it here, because there's a lot just going on in the background. There's a lot of little hints, there's a lot of little Easter eggs, and well, let's dig into it, because Terry's a cool guy and they're doing him justice. So a big one, a very big one out of the gate here, is Terry will debut with his own new stage. And hey, sure, you would expect as much. Terry and Mai probably share the stage as well, which is great because it's actually fairly fitting for both of them, as this stage is a legendary stage in the King of Fighters and Fatal Fury universes. This is the Pao Pao Cafe. The Pao Pao Cafe is very ubiquitous in the SNK games. This is the King of Fighters 15 version you're looking at right now. It's a legendary location throughout the various SNK games, and it makes a perfect home base for the various SNK characters you're bringing into Street Fighter 6. It's actually a very inspired choice in my opinion. And naturally enough, a lot of fights break out in the Pao Pao Cafe, so good enough point here to show Terry's World Tour cinematic introduction. So Terry's up against a big guy. Every World Tour intro is basically there to highlight the character and kind of what they're about and their power, and Terry is, well, a street fighter. Also, it appears the big guy he's fighting isn't just some random big guy. This is also a little bit of an Easter egg in and of itself. It's sort of a blink and you'll miss it one. So if we go back in time to the real bout games, games have their arcade intros, right? They're little, mini cinematics. And we see Rick Stroud here, new to Real Bout 2, and Rick just clobbering a dude. This is Lau, and while getting clobbered here, you might notice Lau has a very distinctive look, and that look appears somewhat similar to what we're seeing here in World Tour mode. Now, I certainly could be reading too much into this, but it just sort of feels about right? And Capcom being Capcom, they love their Easter eggs and references. But regardless, that's Terry's kind of thing, right? He's picking fights. Taking on random dudes in a bar, very much his MO, and hey, knocking off the iconic cap. Terry needs it, that's where his power comes from, basically, right? At least in this look, and he gets kind of zonked for it like a dummy. Although Terry knows how to reapply his hat mid-air, so that's a skill set, I guess. And here's where we get into some of the comedy and some of the fun. This actually, I think, speaks well for World Tour, because there might be some previews, some ideas of some looks or some fits or some costumes we might be getting. As we can see, not Joe Higashi and not Blue Mary cheering Terry on in the background. Also, treating Andy, Terry's brother, with, Andy's not as popular as Terry. Let's put it that way, right? They're not doing well by him. And here's one of the big selling points. People want to see Terry and Mai in the RE engine, right? The graphical fidelity is fantastic, and it really showcases the power of some of these moves. So the classic, the iconic burn knuckle, good lighting, good power, good everything, just looks really good, looks really cool, and we'll be spamming it all day when it's No Neutral November. And we get some fun reaction shots from the crowd, because here's Poison or Roxy, I'm assuming. Here we have Damned, who is, Mad Gear Gang. Here we have Rudra from the story mode, if you remember him. And we have, the Fatal Fury crew again. And isn't it, well, that's Johnny World Tour right there. So everyone's there having a good gander as Terry basically rearranges this guy's face with Burn Knuckle. And trust me, when the time comes, Burn Knuckle spam is going to be a thing. Unless they make the move just absolutely bad, it's going to be people's crutch, especially in a game like Street Fighter. I'm thinking something like either Honda's headbutt or M. Bison's scissors kick, and either way, that'll get people pretty salty, I'm pretty sure. And that's sort of our look at Terry in World Tour mode. So this is the cinematic intro. You as Johnny World Tour kind of step into the fight, and then Terry will teach you what Terry's gonna teach you. We can see in, the close-ups here, the Terry model looks pretty good. Definitely maybe too strong of a chin. I'm not too sure. We'll see. Get different angles, different looks. But he definitely looks like Terry Bogard. And, the hat definitely says Fatal Fury. That's what you want, right? Bomber jacket Terry. That's probably going to be costume too. That's a safe bet. It'd actually be sort of crazy if it wasn't there. I'm also a big fan of how this is specifically cut in World Tour. He just threw his hat off, right? And now he's specifically just picking it up again, putting it back on his head. Like, is he stupid? Like, what's going on here? Why are you just chucking your hat and picking it back up? I know it's like editing magic. Maybe not the two best scenes to put together, but I just find that really funny. So now that said, we covered that. There's a few things I want to add. One, I guess most importantly, if you don't know much about Terry, I do have another video on the channel talking about Terry and how he might play in Street Fighter 6. So if you don't know much about, Terry SNK, all that, please check out that video. I think it'll do well by you. It'll be in the video description and at the end of this video. Another thing to add, just going by this little World Tour cinematic and, some of the things that we've already seen, I feel that maybe Terry's World Tour mode and, his various quest lines and all that and master stuff might be a bit extra special. Probably full of a lot of SNK references. So if you like that kind of stuff, I really would suggest checking it out. I know World Tour is not everyone's cup of tea, but this has the potential, this specific update, just to have a lot of fun stuff. I'm personally looking forward to it very, very much. And also, as I've just, I'm here at Evo right now, I'm recording in a hotel room. I got to play City of the Wolves early on, and it's kind of funny that Street Fighter 6 Terry is going to be playable before City of the Wolves Terry. Just a little bit odd, especially because they're both going to have dubs. So, and English Terry is going to hit Street Fighter 6 first before it'll hit, Fatal Fury, which is, I think that's just a little bit funny. But regardless, it's very exciting times. We got a lot coming up for fighting games. Fighting games are hitting in a big way. Terry's going to be a very big deal. We have Heihachi that got announced. We have a really cool guest character coming for Guilty Gear Strive. That's Lucy from Cyberpunk 2077 Edge Runners, the anime. Just lots and lots of cool stuff, and it just makes me very happy. I love fighting games. There's just so much great stuff going on, and it doesn't look like we're going to be hitting the brakes on that anytime soon. So just very excited times come. Looking forward to covering everything that's coming up with all y'all, and, well, I don't know. I just love fighting games so much. Evo's great. I love fighting games. It's awesome. And before I keep gushing, I'll just call here that is the end of the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some Street Fighter and play some fighting games.